It's 7:02 PM, and we are going to call this meeting to order. Second on the agenda, we have review and approve the minutes. We have 4 from May 22, June 2022, August 2022, and January 2023. Any questions, issues, or concerns? No? Can I get a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
Okay, I move to approve minutes as presented for the dates mentioned by our chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Next on the agenda is review and sign bills.
We have no bills for this evening.
Moving right along. Board member comments. Any board member comments? No comments. Moving to number 5, new business. We're going to move the board reorganization. We're going to do that at our next meeting. So we'll do that
So next
for
month?
February.
Okay.
Next, we have the CPC coordination update. We had a good meeting in December with the chair of the CPC, Deborah Mooney. We discussed our plan and, the thought behind the request. I think that was one of the keys. So we wanted to, just to ensure that there was an understanding about the thought process on how we put this together. It seemed aggressive, going for the 10% and then going for, much higher, like 30% in future years as developments are in the pipeline. But, we just wanted to make sure that there was an understanding that this was just a plan, it's still developing, and that the goal is to make the Affordable Housing Trust nimble for any opportunities that might present themselves, and that we would like to submit for the 10% at the next meeting. So what we're going to do is we submitted, I think, our plan to the CPC. They are reviewing it, and we will meet at a joint meeting with the CPC on February 12th.
What time? 7?
7 PM. So I think that will be good. We'll be there, we'll be able to answer any questions. And the goal is to get the information in and the request in time for our town meeting.
Correct, okay, perfect. And does the town help with the application, or is that something that we would work on?
Yeah, so we'll help kind of draft the application and put that together. And we'll forward that to the committee. I know they're working through applications already for town meetings. The timeline is pretty short, but we'll help to pull that together, provide that both to the trustee and to the committee. So
Thank you.
certainly we can have that discussion in February if we need to go into March. I think there's still time. They have an early March meeting, and we can coordinate with in terms of getting on the warrant for if we're pending.
Mm-hmm. And I think that at that February 12th meeting, we will discuss on how the distribution would work, where it's funded, and before it's released for use for any future projects, how the mechanism will work. So that, there's a lot of things that we still need to iron out, but I think that we can get that done in the next.
Do we have Jen's final packet? Do we have the final packet from Jen?
Yes, we do. So the packet that was voted on and approved was received. So we did follow up, and other than the draft on the cover page, that has to be removed. So we did reach back out to Jen Goldson and we'll get the final printed version
Perfect.
with that watermark removed. But everything else is, I forwarded that to the chair of the CPC, and I'll forward it over to the rest of the members as well after this meeting for their review. And then we'll get the final version over to them as well. So, and just to clarify, I think, so the February meeting is a little more conversational. You know, we'll work on the full application if it's the March meeting, or if we need to adjust. Is that your understanding as well? Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, thank you. It's good.
And then the action plan task review, I know that, you know, we had our schedule at the back.
Yes.
And we are, you know, just a little behind, but I think that, you know, in the next couple of meetings here, we'll be playing catch-up and should be back on track. We know that, you know, the key is having our meeting with the CPC, and then down the road with the Housing Authority and, you know, other members as well, just to get that pipeline going. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, old business, 11 Elizabeth Street.
Yeah, so I left that on the agenda. I know we had discussed it previously. I don't have an update currently, but just as that was kind of a pending discussion, I'd like to hold it on the agenda if there are additional opportunities for discussion, just to allow us to kind of be nimble with that request as well as that process evolves. But for tonight, I don't have an update on that.
Okay. And the next is the MHP applications.
Thank you. Yeah, so similarly, I apologize, I was not able to get to those applications to have them submitted yet. We're still working on drafting those. I'm hoping to, hopefully by the end of the week, next week, we'll have some time. We've been focusing a little bit more on zoning this week, so that's taken up quite a bit of our kind of capacity. So I'm hoping to have that drafted. I know we're a little bit behind in terms of the timeline as outlined in our action plan task list. But you know, I am hopeful that we'll be able to get that ball rolling very soon. And I think, you know, we'll be able to kind of make up time in terms of that for the housing production plan as well, once we get going.
Any questions? No? Okay, next on the agenda, correspondence?
Did we do the action plan task review as well? I just wanted to run through that one page.
Sure.
Just running, yeah, thank you. If I can share. So again, this does have the draft watermark on it, so I apologize for not having that removed yet, but this is what was voted on and approved previously. So this is our year one action, I'll zoom in, our year one action plan, and I just wanted to touch base briefly on
Take the bit.
the actions that we were pursuing, and just kind of have that conversation as well as just formulating next steps. So I know we, you know, established the relationships with nonprofit and developer partners. I think that's, you know, something that we can still work on in the next couple of months, but kind of developing, you know, identifying some additional partners in that range. I'd be happy to hear from members in terms of who we'd want to look to reach out to. I think an obvious one is Habitat for
I
Humanity.
think I have his card. I can
yep.
reach out.
But certainly we can, you know, as we develop others, I'm happy to kind of reach out to those and start that process for.
Do you want to reach out to him, or do you want, okay, yes, this guy.
Do you think any of the local CDCs, the nonprofits in Worcester, might be a, you know, good organization to start opening up conversations, see if they're interested?
Yeah, I mean, I think for this, I'd be happy to cast a broad net and see who's interested in kind of having initial conversations and go from there. And, you know, that's kind of the, just identifying them, and then, you know, I think, again, we can make up time in terms of the outreach and interviews. Once we have a couple identified that want to participate with us, we can have them kind of come in for interviews and discussions, and just kind of develop that process moving forward.
Yep. And I don't know if Metro West Collaborative, if they come out this far.
Okay.
Yeah, can you remind me, are there other communities nearby in Central Mass that also have affordable housing trusts?
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my, I know
Right.
Grafton does. I know a number of other communities do. So that would be another
'Cause,
opportunity.
yeah, I would think to look at who they've partnered with and see if we can pull from those lists.
I think Westboro has one too. And then Amherst. I know when we first started, right, we pulled the different plans to see what we liked. Probably have them tucked away someplace.
We've already touched on the collaborate with CPC to seek funding allocation, so I think unless there's anything else, we don't have to.
I have a question on that.
Yep.
We're aiming for the 10%, right?
This year.
This year, right? Is the CPC able to like amend that if they didn't feel comfortable giving 10%, if they would lower it, or is it like a yay or nay?
So I believe the way that would work, we can request the 10%. They would then be able to amend that as, you know, through their recommendation to town meeting. So they could recommend perhaps a lower amount or, you know, a higher amount. Ultimately, it is the town meeting vote, I think, that determines that. So, you know, be that as it may, but I would imagine that the CPC recommendation would hold
Okay,
quite a bit of weight.
Yeah, because I just know on the, you know, certainly on the Elizabeth Street project that the Housing Authority is looking at, I know that they had a meeting yesterday, I think it was, and it sounded like they would be going towards the CPC for some funding there too, so just making sure that CPC is mindful of all of our town projects.
Right. Yeah, and I think that'll be the benefit of the joint meeting in February, is to kind of discuss those logistics as well, and you know, hopefully hash out some of those details a little bit more. So then the third one was inventory public lands and properties for ideal housing redevelopment. Consider the acquisition or transfer of priority sites. So, you know, I think the kind of initial step there is kind of creating a list of potential sites and criteria for priority acquisitions. I know that currently with kind of our office capacity, I think this would be a bit of a heavy lift in the timeline that they've outlined. I certainly think this is something that we can kind of chip away at, but I just want to be conscious of kind of our office's ability to tackle this one in the timeline that we have. But certainly happy to start that conversation. Again, the 11 Elizabeth Street, I think, is a great kind of initial first item on that list. But I think as we kind of look at the town and try to identify those sites, if those can get, if you want to email them over to me and we can start to kind of pull together, I'll put in the Google Drive so we can see as people populate it, but I'll populate an Excel sheet of properties that we're looking at.
Any friendly 40Bs? I know they kind of like pop in, pop out. Like
Yeah, so we actually do have a friendly 40B currently that is Emerald Run, currently before the Zoning Board of Appeals down on South Street. Had some discussions with developers in some other locations, but those really are conceptual at this point. So I think some of them more than others might be able to move forward, but we're still evaluating those and certainly evaluating from the stance of a friendly 40B.
Whereabouts on South Street? Actually,
It's
down-
Green Street and South Street, so 33
or Green.
Green Street, right at
Okay.
essentially right off of, not directly abutting Route 20, but slightly off of that.
Okay. And are they proposing, as far as you know, like, is it like over 55, or is it just,
So not over 55. It's condominium development.
condo?
Yep,
Oh.
correct. And it would be, I'm trying to remember I want to say it was close to 300 units. I think it was 300. But we do have a project page set up for that has all the details.
Oh.
And I'm happy to forward that to the trust for their review as well. But they've certainly done quite a bit of work, and we've worked with them as well through the friendly 40B process to develop the proposal. It includes, some things that the community was looking for. Represents what I think is a beneficial project towards those goals. So in the housing production planning, we kind of touched on that, so still working on the RFP and application to MHP for that, so I'm hoping to be able to make some leeway in the next month or so on that. And then annual town requirements, but, so those are our main tasks that we're undertaking, and I just wanted to touch on that, and I appreciate the feedback already.
Thank you.
Do you want to
Number
go back?
7, oh yeah, I'm gonna go
wanna go
right after. Anything on correspondence?
No correspondence.
No correspondence? Okay, I'd like to put one additional item back on the agenda, which will be under new business, the board reorganization.
Okey-doke.
We have all of our members here, and
We need to move and vote on it, or do we need to move and vote to move that
move that back.
back on?
No, I don't think.
Okay,
Right, look at it.
all right. Everything right? Okay,
It's been, what,
couple of
3 years?
Maybe 3.
Just about, since, we've had elections for our committee. So we're looking to see if there's anyone interested in assuming new roles. And we have the 3 positions, which is the chair, vice chair, and clerk.
All right, so I nominate you to stay on as chair.
Second.
Yeah, nobody jumped too quick.
Okay. Anyone else interested in running for the chair? No.
So,
So we just do a motion and second, and then.
I
vote.
move to retain Hector Cruz as chair of the Affordable Housing Trust for the foreseeable future.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Guess voted for myself here. Okay.
Why not?
Move.
All right, so then I am going to move that Martha Gannon take over as vice chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Voted for yourself, very good.
All right,
And
I'm not moving for
I will
myself.
nominate Ms. Bryant
Thank you.
for the clerk position.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
Okay, perfect.
congratulations.
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 One more year. We'll do this again next January.
That's right.
Yeah, we can just switch back.
Any, anything else? No.
I'm getting to the point where I'm.
So
twitchy.
our next meeting will be the joint meeting with the CPC, again, on February 12th at 7 PM. And that will be,
So mentioning that, do we want to, we do have the February 8th held, since we're having the joint meeting with CPC. Do we want to still have February 8th, or should we cancel that in
Let's-
lieu of the joint meeting?
Is that for everybody or just the chair?
No, that's for everyone. That's for,
Can't do Mondays.
can you do virtual? No?
Well, what time is it at? 7?
7?
I can try to rearrange. I play cornhole, and I'm the captain, and I have to run my cornhole team. It's every Monday night, and I can't, but I'll try to, I'll have somebody fill in for me.
How late does it go? Can we be put on, down on
We
the
either play
agenda?
at 6, 7:15, 7:30, or 8. So I don't know what time I'm playing that night.
Oh, no, okay,
So it doesn't matter, I can miss it, but I just have to make sure that I have people there.
okay.
I don't care.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's not-
but, and then, I mean, in terms of the joint meetings too, obviously, we can hold a side meeting if we need to as well. Obviously, I'll be attending the CPC meeting also, so that would be a little bit challenging, at least for me. But, you know, I'm happy to kind of coordinate, but, you know, if we want to hold the February 8th as well, then we would only need, the joint meeting doesn't need to have everyone in
Mhm.
attendance if,
No, I'd like to go.
Yeah, and I,
Okay.
yeah, I think we should just, if we can do the 12th, that would be great, and then
Yeah.
we'll take the 8th off the books.
Okay, so skip the
So we
8th.
just have
Okay.
the one meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good with it.
Okay, so next meeting is
So when would our March meeting be?
That
so
will
our
be-
March meeting will be back to the regular scheduled time. That'll be March 14th at 7 PM.
And there will be a meeting maker sent out for that?
Yeah, there should already be, but I will,
Yeah, I don't-
just in my calendar, so
Yeah.
I will, yeah, I had it.
I have the 8th, I don't see the.
Yeah, the March one I have just as my own. I have the room held, but I will forward that to the rest
In
of them.
person, because
Yes.
I don't, today I went on and it said it was virtual, and then I went back and I found the virtual link and I didn't see your email.
Yep.
Then
Yeah,
3
so,
minutes waiting to try to join the meeting.
Oh, no.
That's why I was texting you guys, I'm like, I can't get in.
No, I'm sorry, there was just a little mix-up because there was some scheduling conflicts there, potential, and we didn't know that, so we just put it as both.
Okay.
But
'Cause
we
I was-
weren't clear enough.
I went on to check and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it says virtual, they must have changed it, because I knew we were supposed to be in person.
yeah, so moving forward, the intent is to have it in this room at the regular. And what I'll do is I'll get these dates, I'll update our schedule for 2023, that we can vote and approve that as well.
2024.
Sorry, yeah, 2024. Where are we? Yeah, what year is it? Yeah, wow, time flies. So we will update that calendar as well for the trust.
Great,
Awesome, thank you.
thank you. Anything else? No. Can I get a motion to
I'm
adjourn?
gonna give it to our new vice chair.
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you, good night.
What am I supposed to say?